Oh, he has a Nova combo that he's gonna put onto his Devil Dinosaur lane, doesn't he? Nope, he can't. Too bad. We dropped our Debrii. Hello everyone, TLSG here, back again with another Marvel Snap video. So today we didn't actually get to draft a card, so unfortunately we don't get to build a deck around that. So what I wanted to do was implement the second card that we pulled the other day, being Rogue, into a deck archetype that I've been tinkering around with for a while. It's something that I've wanted to make work, and the premise of it is just to flood the enemy's board with junk. I've dubbed it a junk deck, and this is definitely missing some key resources from pool 3. We just haven't got lucky enough to pull them, but with this iteration it feels solid enough that I'm actually climbing in the 115 rank, the 116 rank. So I did want to showcase this to you guys, and then as we pull some of those other key cards, we'll be able to make this even better, even more optimal. So just a reminder, there will be timestamps in the time bar and the description. If you don't want to see the deck tech, the deck explanation, if you just want to jump to the gameplay, there should be a link in the bar. All right, so jumping into the deck explanation. This deck is all around adding junk to the enemy's board. So I'll go through the cards really quickly and just kind of give a general overview. The first card we have is the Hood. So this is a -2 1-drop card that generates a token. A one cost 6 power token. So this can help us in a couple of ways. We can oftentimes drop the Hood in conjunction with Viper to send that negative card over into their lane. Or if we get the location bar with no name, where whoever has the least power in this lane, that's almost an auto win at that point, because we can hold the Hood until the very end and then drop him in that lane and kind of sneak it away from the enemy, and they're not going to be anticipating it. So the next card we have is our Nova Carnage combo. I know I would like to replace this with something like a Black Widow, Green Goblin, something where I'm actually going to be impacting their board a little bit more. But for the time being, until we unlock those cards, this combo synergizes really well with the fact that we're flooding our board while we're flooding theirs, and we need to clear up space, and since our board is already flooded, we can get additional value out of the Nova in comparison to what the enemy can do. And so then we have Mojo. Mojo is a fantastic card for this archetype. I liked the idea of Mojo, but I couldn't ever find a way to trigger his ongoing ability consistently. Mojo being ongoing, if both players have 4 cards at this location, you get +6 power. So usually if the opponent saw that you had a Mojo in the lane, they would leave one slot empty, or kind of strategically play around that. With Debrii and Viper and a few of the other cards where we can send cards into their lane, it's a lot harder for them to play around Mojo, and we can trigger it much more consistently, equaling a 2 cost 8 power drop. The next combo that I have in here that makes this feel playable is the Lady Sif Ghost Rider combo. So the goal behind the Lady Sif Ghost Rider combo is to trigger out an early Odin. And so let's say we have a Viper in lane and we had sent either a Rock or the Hood, and then we drop a Debrii behind it. We can then do Odin into that lane, trigger Viper to send a card, trigger Debrii to trigger the Rock send again, to really flood their board. Additionally, by turn 4, we can have 2 of their lanes almost completely full of cards if they haven't played anything at all. And then as a second primary target, the Hobgoblin is a good target for the Lady Sif Ghost Rider combo, because you can sneak out a -5 or a -8 5 cost card onto the enemy's board. And one, it meets a couple of our criteria. One, it takes up space on their board, and then 2, it's a -8 card. If you can sneak it out and you fill their lane with that last card, so sometimes you can block Carnage combos, you can block like an Iron Man combo, you can block a lot of like key things by sending this and sneaking it out early. The next card that we have is Rogue. So Rogue we recently unlocked. On reveal, it steals an ongoing ability from a random enemy at this location. This card is the ultimate tech against a Devil Dino deck. It's not quite an Enchantress where it stops all ongoing abilities, but instead of just stopping them, you steal them. So if they are playing Devil Dino, that their +10 becomes a 20-point swing in your direction whenever you steal that whenever you steal that ongoing ability. So very, very strong card in the Devil Dino overridden meta. And then we also have Debrii, who on reveal add a rock to each other location for both players. So this is one of our key cards to kind of fill up their board. And it's really funny whenever you get a double on reveal, or you get a Debrii followed by an Odin, and you fill up half of their other lane spaces without them. Like, nobody's anticipating that at this point. So it becomes really hard to play around. And then lastly, we have Juggernaut. Juggernaut is another card that we can use to kind of push cards into the opponent's lanes that they may not want them in. So if they have a lane that has 2, maybe 3 cards, and we anticipate that they're going to drop a card in a different location, we can oftentimes anticipate that, send their card over into that lane, making it full. So then we can do a couple of things. We can anticipate what their power is going to be at the end of the game in that lane, so that we can kind of match that and make sure that we either win, or maybe we need to give up on that lane and compete for the other 2. And then it's also a negative swing from that lane that they wanted to play the card in. So I'm thinking something like Carnage, where you accidentally send it over into the enemy's almost full lane and it eats the whole thing. Some really cool uses with Juggernaut in this deck. And so that is the general idea. I'm really excited. This deck has felt really fun. It's felt really consistent. I've been climbing pretty well. Whereas before I was just kind of stalling out with some of my other high power decks because it was going against other high power combos, and this one seems to be able to sneak those victories away because it's not something that's anticipated at this point. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into some games. I hope you guys enjoy them. Okay, so for the first one, we have the Sanctum Sanctorum against Maxim. Not a good location for our deck. But it's not the worst one either. We're still able to send things into their lanes to make it difficult for them to make the plays that they want to. And then we get the Hood. We can follow that up with Viper next turn. We can follow it up with the Viper and the Demon next turn to really swing this one in our favor. And then if we can get something like a Debrii along with a Nova, that can help us out quite a bit as well. Ooh, but then we would have to draw into that. Okay. And seeing as how we don't want to accidentally move cards over here for the enemy, we're probably not going to play the Juggernaut this turn. There's just too much random, like we don't know. It's a coin flip at that point. And we don't want to accidentally allow them to win that lane. And so then with the Viper combo, we send the Hood over, we get the Demon to kind of help swing it in our direction. We do have the Carnage. So do we drop... I think we go ahead and drop Debrii here, hoping that they don't drop a card in this space, because then they're completely locked out of the game for the rest of the turns. And they didn't play anything. Interesting. And so now they can't play at any location. So even, well, they have this move card. So they'll be able to move this Nightcrawler over here and win this lane. But otherwise, they're not able to play any card whatsoever. So as long as we can get more than 5 power, then we win. So now it is safe to drop our Juggernaut. And then next turn, I'll follow it up with Odin. It's becomes pretty cut and dry at this point. He can move this one over. He's not able to replace it in this lane because it is capped out. And of course, we're going against a bot. Otherwise, they would succeed. And so we could do Mojo for 2 cost, 8 power, but we'll go ahead and do Odin just because. There's no reason not to. So we draw into our Nova Carnage combo. We also draw into the Hood. So I'm just going to play the Hood and then most likely Nova Carnage into this left lane so that I can eliminate the downside that comes with the Hood without having to hope that we draw into and play Viper. And so for this turn, I do want to get additional cards out onto the board as early as possible so that we can utilize the buff from Nova Carnage. I don't think it's worth leaving mana on the table for the demon quite yet, and so I'm going to play into the unknown, which turns out to be the 9 power, the new featured location, Monster Island. That's a pretty decent one for having played Mojo, because it gives them one additional slot. All we have to do is fill up 1 or 2, and then they will probably play at least 1 there. And so maybe we drop... I really don't think they'll play cards here, but I want the potential upside of sending it this way if they do. And so I'm going to drop Juggernaut just because it's the best use of our mana, and they drop a cable, which makes sense. I wouldn't have anticipated, I wouldn't have played in the middle, but I wanted to take a shot. And so now we have the Lady Sif part of our combo, but not the Ghost Rider. So do we go ahead and capitalize on this for now? Because cards will cost 1 extra next turn. So we want to... next turn is not going to be a good turn for flooding. So we're going to be able to play 1 card, or maybe 2 if we had all these at hand, max. So I think we do. I think we have a decent amount on the board. This lane becomes a little difficult to win. Maybe we can drop Hobgoblin in this lane to sneak it out. But I think this lane should be pretty secured as long as we get the Mojo buff to trigger. And then if they drop a Devil Dinosaur, of course we have Rogue in our deck that will be able to steal it away. So that is always a lane changer. It could swing the entire game for you. So they do drop a Devil Dino, and they drop it in the same lane as their Collector, which is an interesting choice. Usually you want to kind of split your powerhouses a little bit, but okay. So we can drop Lady Sif, which will discard our Hobgoblin, and then we can send it into a lane. So I think I'm going to drop Lady Sif in this left lane. Next turn, we'll anticipate dropping Ghost Rider here as well to send them the -8. If it looks like they may be filling this one up, maybe we don't go with that path. Maybe we go with something like dropping Ghost Rider over here to finish off the buff, and then it can't resummon the Hobgoblin. There's a couple of choices that we have. Interesting. So they have a Mystique, which is a card that I haven't pulled yet, but once we do, it's a really, really strong card. So Mystique being ongoing +2 power for each card in your hand. Well, no. Oh my gosh. That's Devil Dino. So Mystique being that on reveal, if you played an ongoing card last, then you will copy that ability. So it's really, really strong, and really, really impactful. So So I don't think we're going to win this middle lane. We didn't draw into Rogue, unfortunately, but I think with some luck, we'll be able to send our Hobgoblin over in their direction, and then Debrii will be able to make sure we trigger our Mojo buff. Well, if they fill up this lane, it'll make sure we can trigger our Mojo buff. Otherwise, I think they've given up this lane. I think that's what we go with. I'm not 100% sold on us winning. They may like flood. They didn't flood the lane. Good. Just a Sentinel. Awesome. And so that means we're going to be able to send -8 in their direction. We should have this lane locked down, and I don't think they could have anything here. I'm thinking like, oh, a Nova Carnage. Interesting. Maybe we don't have that left lane, even with our -8. I think we do. I think we're fine. We're fine, right? Oh yeah. Yeah. And so this being able to sneak out that Hobgoblin has won me so many games and it just fits with this deck archetype. It feels like it goes. Yes, I could throw an Infinite, and then I could Lady Sif Ghost Rider into Infinite, but sometimes being able to fill up their board and stop them from doing what they're wanting to do can be a better choice than just raw power. Because raw power, of course, you can get Shang-Chi'd. You can get countered in several different ways. If you're able to fill up their board, then that limits what they're able to do and how they're able to react. So we get Titan, so we may be able to drop an Odin this turn, drop him on like turn 5. And then we have our Debrii, which is something that I love drawing into. I want Debrii, and I want to be able to make Debrii good. And I feel like this is the best deck that I've had, or the best opportunity that I've had to make that happen. And we'll still be able to kind of finesse and improve upon this list as we unlock cards, but pool 3 is so vast that if you're waiting to build a deck archetype around 1 or 2 optimal drops, you could be waiting for months. It becomes really difficult. So we do have our Debrii. We also have Lady Sif Ghost Rider, so when we draw into something like Odin, we can trigger that effect to happen again. So what I'm thinking is we drop Debrii in this middle lane. That way we're not giving them an additional token to get +2 power on. We can drop Lady Sif into either Hellfire or Titan. And then Ghost Rider would fit perfectly into Stark Tower, which would re-trigger our Debrii buff. And then, of course, the time we're not going against Devil Dino, we draw into Rogue. So, do we go ahead and drop our Nova Carnage combo? I think we do. I think we go ahead and drop it. They have some kind of move deck, so I'm anticipating maybe a Vulture next turn that's going to be pushed over from here to here or here to here. But we'll see. And so with that, we always have to keep Heimdall in mind, which is a 6-cost, 8-power card that'll push all the cards to the left. So we always have to anticipate that when we're kind of calculating where we're standing and how we're standing overall. Now, oh, that's very interesting. That Forge did not much for him. Oh no, I think he messed up the order of the combo. He forgot he did Iron Fist. Oh boy. And so we can actually just straight up drop our Odin. But do we want to do that? Is there any reason not to? I think it's fine. I think we just drop our Odin. We fill up this lane, so at least if he drops cards here, he's not going to be able to push as many cards in any one direction. And so we drop Odin, or Lady Sif Ghost Rider, it's going to pull Odin here. We're going to get the maximum bonus from this Stark Tower, and we're going to fill up at least one lane, put some useless tokens in the others. So let's go ahead and end there. And good, he didn't drop anything in this left lane, so at least we get to capitalize on both rocks, which is really good. I get so excited when we can flood their board a little bit, because it makes it so difficult for them to play around. And so the cloak is a little bit concerning. Oof, that's a really good card to drop right before the end. So the reason that card is so good, he can now pull, like, let's say he pulls a Forge. Did he succeed? He could pull a Forge and a Vulture and then drop a Heimdall here. I think we just go with dropping some power here and hope that whatever gets pushed is not like a multiple man. It doesn't serve him well. And we just see how it goes. Okay. He did have a lot of useless cards that may have been pushed, because at most he's going to push one card over in this direction. So ensuring it's the Vulture, it becomes difficult. Ensuring it's multiple man becomes difficult. Like, it becomes really difficult to kind of play around. So luckily we were able to flood his board. That move deck kind of became difficult to navigate. Move decks in and of themselves are difficult. But when you have a limited space, it is even more so. We draw into a decent opening hand here with our Nova Carnage combo in hand. We have Ghost Rider, so if we draw Lady Sif, we can drop that right away. And then we're going to be able to sneak a Hobgoblin wherever. Oh, now we'll be able to sneak an Odin into wherever we want. Which, if we draw a Debrii, can also be pretty good. And then we got Squirrels, which is typically not great, but in this case we can destroy this lane. That way we can kind of up and overcome the -2 power issue here. And then we get additional resources in our other lanes. Actually, do we want to Viper combo and send this over? No, I think we just... I think we do something like this. I think we send the squirrel over into their lane. We drop our Nova so that we can play our Carnage next turn. Not a whole lot of decks are running armor to counter the Nova Carnage at this point, especially not other Devil Dinosaur collector decks. So drawing into Rogue here, which we haven't been able to utilize Rogue because we've only seen it once. But being able to draw into Rogue here would be really, really huge. And so let's hope for that. I mean, otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and break this combo. So if we need to manually play Hobgoblin next turn, we can. It just kind of gives us a little more power onto the board. It gives us a little flexibility to react to whatever they're doing. And so we still have to anticipate a Moon Girl. Yeah, a Moon Girl, and then maybe a single Carnage, Nova Carnage combo. A Rogue would be just the icing on the cake here. It would still be, I think, difficult to win. Oh, this is just turn 5. What was I thinking? Okay, so I think we actually drop our Juggernaut here. Just in case they're going to drop like a Nova or a Carnage and try and get some of that value out, we can push push them both in another direction. Yes, is that the combo? Is that what they did? One and one. So they could accidentally eat their collector. They're going to eat the collector. Oh my gosh. Okay, and the Nova doesn't go off, so that's huge. We now have 2 lanes in our favor. We can either drop Hobgoblin, or we can spread out some power across the board. So I don't think we're going to be able to take this lane, unfortunately. We didn't draw into Rogue again. Like the chances of that, I'm sure someone could or would want to calculate it, but very, very small chances that would happen. So they would have to get 11 power here, and they've already dropped their Devil Dino. They would have to get 11, 13 power here? No, more than 11 power. We snap. We have this. I don't think there's anything that they have or that they could do since we disrupted their Carnage. Oh, they have another Carnage combo because they duplicated both of those, right? Moon Girl, and I think they have another Carnage combo. In which case, I think we can still win. I think we still win this lane because it'd be like 12, right? 12 minus 2. No, what am I doing? Oh, we're choking. We're throwing. We're actually throwing. We threw so hard. And so then here comes the Carnage to just... the Venom. Okay. Venom is an interesting card as well. It's another pool 3 card that I haven't unlocked. And, oh boy, that's going to be not enough. That was a roller coaster from start to finish. We misplayed pretty heavily by not anticipating that Carnage was going to eat our cards. But we got lucky that he dropped Venom instead of the duplicated Carnage because he had Carnage in his hand. We saw that. I don't know why he didn't, because then he would get +2 upside from every single card, even the negative ones. But instead, Venom ate the negative ones and lost him the game. Oh my gosh, or it would have at least pushed here. He would have won here, I think. Oh my gosh. GG easy. I'm going to go ahead and start by playing the Hood into Danger Room. Kind of hoping that it gets destroyed by the 25% chance, but at the same time, if it doesn't, that's okay. Because we will have a couple of opportunities to destroy it later on. So miniaturized lab. I think we go ahead and drop our demon here. And then we can even play our Nova into the danger room. I don't see holding it for a lot more upside. We're not going to be able to play cards in the miniaturized lab. And the danger room didn't proc on Nova. It's going to end up procking on... Oh my gosh. This board is flooding it for us. This is beautiful. So we can't add cards here. But what we can do is he probably won't want to drop many cards into the danger room. So do we ever drop Debris on this left side? I think we do. I think we roll the dice again. I'm anticipating Debris to get killed because the other ones didn't. But we do have Mojo that we'll be able to put into the Savage Land to proc that ongoing ability. And so let's stop. They did play a card into Danger Room, so, and ours still didn't proc. Oh, can their Devil Dino? No, okay. So the Danger Room's really playing at low danger here the last couple of turns. Okay, so I think this is what we do. Because we have Rogue, we know we're going to be able to steal the Devil Dinosaur ability. I think we go ahead and drop our Carnage into this left lane. We roll the dice. It's a 25% chance, and well, we've passed 3 times already, so statistically this one should get destroyed, but statistically this one should have as well. So we're really pushing our luck, but we'll be able to trigger Mojo here, most likely. And then we'll get the buff across all of these cards. And so I think it's a good risk-reward ratio. Because even if he does get destroyed after he eats all these cards, we have Rogue that's going to be able to steal Devil Dinosaur's ability. And then a Jubilee, which is a good card for Danger Room, unfortunately. As much as I hate to admit it. It pulls into a card. Jubilee had a chance to be destroyed there. Oh my. Danger Room is really, really not on it today. Okay, so they have a chance to play a card here and here. We know that they probably have a Moon Girl and a Nova Carnage. Do we think they're holding their Carnage? I'm gonna snap. Even if Rogue gets destroyed here, they snapped back. So even if Rogue gets destroyed here, it's okay. I have to kind of copium myself. It's okay because it would still steal the Devil Dinosaur buff, and so then this becomes an 11 power lane. It's a lot easier for us to swing it in our direction if we need to. And so where are they playing? So they are maxing out their other 2 lanes. Come on, roll one more lucky dice roll. Can we do it? Can we do it? We do. We do. We get the dream. The dream. Okay. And so they do Carnage to open up some more space for themselves on that right side. And then they do a Sentinel. Okay. So we don't have to worry so much about this lane as long as we have 2 cards in hand. We have 15 and we have an advantage over... Oh no. The Carnage or the Nova combo. So if they have a Venom or another way to destroy that card, I'm not feeling confident. I think they have another initiator for their Nova. I'm going to say they have either a Deadlock or a Venom. And then they'll drop both in this lane to swing it in their favor, which would also swing this one in their favor. The only one it wouldn't would be this one. I think we roll the dice. I think at this point we don't know for sure. I think we have probably like a 40% chance of winning here. Probably a 60% loss, but we're gonna lean in. I anticipate 3 cards here. Okay. Unfortunately, it is what we thought. Nova, Sentinel, and then what else? They didn't Moon Girl, so is it Venom? If it's Venom, yeah, we definitely lose because he keeps the upside of Carnage. while destroying the rest of the lane. So Venom is a decent addition to the Devil Dinosaur deck. It can kind of swing some things in your favor, but I'm still not a fan overall. So it is a tough loss, but I mean, we were able to read it. We had the sunk cost. We just had to lean in and see it. We had to be a masochist and see it for ourselves. Metropolis is not incredibly great for the hood. I think we just throw him in a random into the unknown and see what comes up. Kind of, the ones that are downside are not as big a downside. I think the only one that's really, really bad is Bar with No Name. And so here, I like the cloning vats with Debrii, because we're able to just continually proc Debrii over and over and over again. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop one demon into the middle, and then I'll drop 2 Debris the next 2 turns. Turn 3 we'll just be able to do Debris. Turn 4 we'll do Debris and a demon somewhere, to really like start flooding that board. I love the cloning vats for Debris, because yes, they may stack a lot of power into one lane, and then of course we can draw into Rogue potentially. We have a lot of opportunity to draw into what we need to counter like the multiple Devil Dinosaurs. Or if they stack too many in one location and we flood their other board or the rest of their lanes, they don't have as much time to react. So I'm wondering, do I try to do a Viper combo here and hope that they don't fully stack it? I think I'm just going to do another Debris, and then I think I'm going to drop our demon on the right side. I anticipate the need to carnage this left side, and so that's why I'm stacking our demon onto the lane that already has a decent amount of power. So they do drop another Devil Dinosaur in the middle. So next turn, what we can do is drop our Viper to send one of the rocks in the left lane and try to cap that one out. Or do we drop one more Debris even? Do we drop one more Debris? Do we do something like a Viper Debris? I'm going to, because then that will, if he drops a card here, oh no. That caps us out if he drops a card there. But it also caps this lane out. No, I think that's too risky. Maybe I just do a Debris. Do we do a Carnage Debris? And then next turn we'll have 2 cards. We could do Lady Sif or Ghost Rider and Mojo to proc this one. Or we could, if we draw into Rogue, we could do that one as well. I think that's our play. He drops a card here, so... Oh, an Iron Man. Oh, he has a Nova combo that he's gonna put onto his Devil Dinosaur lane, doesn't he? Nope, he can't. Too bad. We dropped our Debris. So the most he can do is eat this lane. Oh my! I'm gonna snap back. This is nutty. And then we do go ahead, and what we can do is we can steal his Iron Man buff. We can drop Mojo. We'll have a huge lane here. We have a huge lane here. I can't anticipate what they can do or why they would stay in this, other than just kind of the sheer shock factor that they're having right now, in the fact that they can't play anything anywhere. So out of 12 spots that you have available to play, we filled it up with 6. We took half of their spaces. Oh man. And so I guess they felt like they just needed to donate the cubes. They wanted to let us play it all the way out. So we steal the Iron Man buff. We get the Mojo trigger. It's going to be like a 40 power lane along with this 15 over here. just nuts. Oh man. Oh, maybe they were hoping they could swing it with Sunspot, but just absolutely nuts. Oh my gosh, so much fun. This deck, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there, but this deck is so much fun to play, especially when you're going against those Devil Dinosaur metas that we're seeing right now, or the Swarm meta. You can flood their board, and those type of decks really need space to function and do well. And to a lesser extent, even like a large minion, so like a discard deck, or like a large minion deck that's going to be dropping the Lady Sif Ghost Rider into Infinite, and you have Wave, and even those you can mess up their ability to play efficiently, and you can sneak out some wins. So overall, the deck is really, really fun. I think it's a pretty solid iteration. It does have room for improvement, but I'm having a blast playing it right now, and this is what I'm currently climbing with. We're currently 116, and just having a good time in our infinite rank. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider giving it a like and a comment down below. It really helps the video stand out. This has been TLSG. Later, guys.